Oh, hello! It's a special edition of Wisdom Walks. I'm not in Canada, as you can see. I'm on the beautiful island of Moorea, which is just outside of Tahiti. And I gotta tell you guys, this is the most magical place I've ever been to. Every day I am more in awe at the beauty that I'm able to witness. I mean, look at these beautiful flowers right here. I mean, it's just so much magic everywhere. Anyways, I could go on and on about the magic that I've been experiencing here, but I want to start by welcoming you to another edition of Wisdom Walks. Today we're going to be talking about finding stillness. How the heck do we find stillness when it's crazy and chaotic? It might be easy to find stillness when you're on vacation like I am, or somewhere really beautiful. Stillness can be found more easily. But what about when we are in the midst of chaos and and the world is falling apart, so to speak? How do we find stillness? Because I got to tell you, finding stillness is absolutely critical when we are wanting to connect with divine. If we lack stillness, then what happens is our brain is too busy, our body's too busy, our spirit's too busy in order to receive the divine messages. And so how can we find that stillness? That is what today is all about. So Reverend Rose Hope, aka Reverend Dan Riendo, and I'm so happy to be with you on this wisdom walk. I want to tell you, I have never been on a cruise before, but we just got off of a cruise and we had to go through some very rocky waters. We were coming into a tropical depression. Some were concerned it was going to become a cyclone, so that was the word. I didn't have any fear. I trusted in divine. I absolutely knew that things were going to be a-okay. But the ride was rough, let me tell you. Everybody looked like drunken sailors on the cruise ship. And for me, getting motion sickness fairly easily, this was a bit troublesome. Luckily, I was able to keep myself together through a lot of deep breathing and meditation. But one of the trips that we did, we had to actually get on 3 different boats. I was on the cruise ship, then the tender that takes you to the island, and then from the island we were on another boat. And the boat that we went on was extraordinarily rough. But we were trying to get to a really magical place called the Blue Lagoon, and let me tell you, I've never seen anything so beautiful and magical in my life. It was well worth the boat ride. However, getting there was not exactly easy. And we were literally going up and down like this on the boat, and it was about an hour long. And as I'm sitting there panicking, wondering, how am I going to get through this without losing my guts? How am I going to make it through, feeling so disoriented and uneasy? I remembered to find stillness in the chaos, and I went through my process. So I wanted to share my process with you because it actually helped me. I meditated while on a boat that was absolutely roughing on those open waters. And I was able to sit there and find calm and get myself through that experience, even though in past I probably would have been panicking and asking the boat to stop and all of those things. So this is my acronym that I've come up with. As many of you know, I love acronyms. I find them so much easier to remember and to use. And so my acronym is actually STILL, because of course, referencing the idea of finding stillness even when on the outside things are perhaps a little bit chaotic and rough. And so here's the acronym for you. I hope it comes in really handy for you. I hope that you can use it when you feel like you're in overwhelm or feeling like there's too much going on around you. So here it is. So the S in STILL stands for shut your eyes. Now I know we usually say close your eyes, but it didn't work for the acronym, okay? So it is shut your eyes. That's the number 1. Shut the eyes, okay? So closing those eyelids, that is the first step. The next one, of course, is take a few breaths. Simple, right? T for still is take a few breaths. So take a few breaths. I always suggest taking 3 breaths to start. Usually I end up doing a bit more deep breathing than that, but even just those 3 breaths is enough to get us into that deeper state and anchor our system in. The I in still is to imagine a place of serenity, of calm, and of peace. So for some that might be in your bed, in your bedroom. For some that might be in a beautiful naturescape. For some that might be at the ocean. Wherever that might be for you, imagine yourself where you found peace, or you've sensed peace before, or you know is a safe space for you to find peace. So we're just imagining that and then allowing ourselves to feel into that. So there are 2 parts to this one: imagine and feel that energy. So we're just tuning into that frequency. That's really all that we're doing in that experience. So the next one would be, of course, L. So the L in still, the first L, is to listen. And here's what I've been doing. I simply said while I was on that boat, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. That's all I needed to do. I didn't need to say, give me what you got. I didn't need to say, give me all this information. I just said, I'm listening. So just acknowledge that you're listening. So that's the first L. And then, of course, the last L is to love where you are. To love where you are. And by the time you're done the still process, guess what? You're going to love where you are, because that experience is so profound in how simple it is and how quick and effective it is. And so I found myself going through this still method, and I just repeated it. So I would start at the top, I'd close my eyes, I'd take my breaths, I would imagine and feel into that place of serenity, which was on land, not on that rough boat that I was on. And then I would come into that listening. I'm listening. And even if you don't hear something right away, even if it takes a minute for you to hear whatever it is, or maybe it even comes in later the day, the point is that you've acknowledged that you're listening. And that, my friends, opens up that beautiful channel. And then loving what is just a powerful place to come into around appreciation. So that's how simple it is. You guys, Spirit always says it is simple. It's actually very simple, but we're so good at overcomplicating things. So this still method, it only takes a few minutes to do. Look at the beautiful landscape here, you guys. Isn't this just magical? Oh my gosh. Mountains and ocean. This is the best of it all. So find that stillness in your life no matter what is going on. I tell you, it really got me through that boat ride of torture. And I'm so glad that it did, because when I got to the Blue Lagoon, from stingrays to sharks in the water that were literally swimming around our feet, and baby sharks, of course, not big sharks, no great whites. It was just so majestic and so magical. And it reminds us in life, how often, do we go through that chaos or through the storm, so to speak, right? And through that storm, we ride it and we resist it and we struggle with it and we get upset that we're going through the storm. But if we could find the stillness in the storm, we tend to get through it much more easily. We tend to get through it much more quickly. And all of a sudden, we start to see the truth of the experience, and it's not so painful, and we're not suffering quite as much. So, I hope that you can take this little bit of simple technique of still to apply it to your life, no matter what's going on, whether you're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, whatever that might be. Allow yourself to find the stillness. And I'll leave you with this beautiful little poem that is in Richard Rohr's book. He's a reverend. He's got some beautiful books, and in his book, Everything Belongs, he shares this beautiful poem. Forgive me, I don't know where it originates from, but it is this: Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be. It's all you gotta do. Just gotta be. Sending love until the next wisdom walk. Farewell. Goodbye.